Ever feel like your brain has way too many tabs open? You're being pulled in a million different directions at once? If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a toolkit, a set of real, practical tools for getting your calm and focus back in a world that feels like it's built to just steal it from you.
So does this sound about right? Your mind is just racing, you can't seem to focus on one thing for more than, a few minutes, and it really feels like your attention has been, hijacked. It's super frustrating, and almost everyone feels this way. But I want to be really clear about something. This is not some kind of personal failing on your part. Okay, so what's really going on here? Well, the culprit has a name: dopamine hijacking. See, our brains are basically hardwired to seek out pleasure, right? And that feeling comes from a chemical called dopamine. Now, the problem is that modern things, especially social media, give us this constant, super potent hit of dopamine with every single scroll, every like. So what happens when it's time to do something that takes real effort, like studying or working on a project? Our brain just looks at it and goes, nope, not enough reward here, and it totally resists. So again, your brain isn't broken, it's just been hijacked by easy pleasure.
All right, so how do we take back the controls? We're going to break it down into a 4-part toolkit. First up, we'll get into what's happening with our hijacked brains. Then, we'll cover some tools to calm down right in the moment. After that, we'll look at tricks to redirect your focus. And finally, we'll talk about how to rewire your motivation for good.
All right, section 1. Let's start with the why behind all this. Why do we feel so dang anxious and overwhelmed all the time, even when, everything is technically okay? Well, it all boils down to how our nervous system is reading the room, so to speak.
And this quote really nails it. You know that jittery, on-edge feeling you get when a work notification pops up? That is your ancient survival system. The whole fight, flight, or freeze thing just misfiring. Your body is literally screaming danger over an email, even though you're perfectly safe sitting at your desk. It's nuts.
But here's the good news. We can actually turn that alarm off manually. And you know what? The best way to calm your mind is often to start with your body. So these next couple of tools, think of them as a physical off switch for your stress. And that's because we have this incredible built-in superpower, the parasympathetic nervous system. It's basically the brake pedal for your body's stress response. It's what counteracts that go, go, go feeling. And the techniques we're about to cover, they are designed to slam on that brake and do it fast.
Okay, this first one is one of the quickest ways to calm yourself down, and it is so simple. It's called the physiological sigh. In fact, let's just do it right now. Take a sharp, deep breath in through your nose. Okay, now without letting any air out, sneak in one more little sip of air. And now, a long, slow exhale all the way out through your mouth. That's it. That's the whole thing. So why does that work so well? It's pretty cool, actually. That little double inhale at the top, it pops open all the tiny little air sacs in your lungs. They're called alveoli. This means you can get rid of way more carbon dioxide on that long exhale, and that sends a direct physical signal to your brain to chill out. It's a total biological hack that's just built right in. Okay, here's another fantastic tool, especially for when your mind is just spinning out on what-ifs. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method, and what it does is it basically yanks your brain out of all those future worries and plants it firmly back in the present moment. All you do is go through your senses. You find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear, and you keep going down the list. It literally forces your brain to pay attention to your immediate, real, and safe surroundings instead of some stressful future you just made up.
All right, so we've got some tools to calm the body. But what about the mind? How do we get out of those relentless thought loops that just go around and refuse to quit, especially when you're trying to fall asleep, right?
Well, here's the classic mistake that pretty much all of us make. We try to force the thought to go away. But that's like someone telling you, whatever you do, don't think about a pink elephant. It's impossible. The act of trying to push it away just signals to your brain that this thought is super important, which actually makes it louder. The real key, the real solution, is to just gently redirect your attention. You notice the thought, kind of nod to it, and then choose to focus on something else.
Now this next trick it's just fascinating. It comes from some of the science behind EMDR therapy. Get this, it turns out your brain actually needs to make tiny little eye movements to pull up memories and to think. So if you're stuck in one of those thought loops, just pick a spot on the wall or on your desk and lock your eyes onto it. Hold your gaze perfectly still. By doing that, you can literally interrupt the process your brain uses to keep that thought running. It's wild.
And this quote really sums up the whole approach. The goal isn't to have a perfectly empty Zen mind. I mean, who can do that? The real goal is to stop letting your thoughts bully you. It's about learning to notice them, maybe even label them. Oh, hey, there's that worry again. And then you let it float on by. Kind of like watching leaves on a stream.
Okay, so we've covered some awesome in-the-moment tools for getting calm and focused. But now let's talk about the long game. Let's talk about rewiring our brains to get past the procrastination and fear that so often hold us back.
Now this idea right here, this is a total game changer. Physically, in your body, the sensation of fear and the sensation of excitement they're identical. Your heart races, you get a surge of cortisol, your body gets all agitated and ready to go. The only difference, the only one, is the label your brain puts on that feeling. Is it telling a story about being terrified, or is it telling a story about being excited and ready? So here's the hack. The moment you feel that nervous energy start to build, before a big meeting or a presentation, you literally say out loud, "I'm excited." You're not trying to fight the feeling or calm down. You're just giving that physical energy a new name. You're feeding your brain a different story, and believe me, it can change everything.
And what about the fear of rejection? This analogy is just brilliant for that. Picture a giant gumball machine. It's almost completely full of red gumballs. Those are the no's. But there are a few blue ones in there too, the yeses. Now your job is not to try and convince a red gumball to turn blue. That's impossible. Your only job is to just keep cranking the handle, sorting through them. It totally reframes rejection. It's not personal failure, it's just part of the process of finding the blue ones.
And this quote builds on that idea perfectly. Every no you hear isn't some deep judgment about you or your worth. It's just data. It's just proof that you had the guts to try. It's not rejection, it's redirection, pushing you towards something better. And really, when you get right down to it, it's about this: commitment and resilience. When you take these tools for managing your mind and body, and you combine them with a mindset that just refuses to get derailed by fear or by a no, well, you become pretty much unstoppable.
So there you have it, a whole toolkit for dealing with an overstimulated mind and an overwhelming world. But look, the power isn't just in knowing the stuff, right? It's in actually using it. So the real question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you've got the tools to calm your nervous system and redirect your mind, what are you going to do with all that control?